All right, ready? Let's go.
Hi, I'm Henry, I'm the CEO.
My name's Alex, I'm the CFO.
I'm Sarah, I'm the CMO.
I'm Peng, I'm the CTO.
And we're here to talk to you about our company, AdSite. First of all, I want everybody to take a moment and reflect. What is the last piece of physical advertisement that you've seen today on the streets? And how many of them can you recall? So based on research, a person on average is exposed to 3,000 to 15,000 pieces of ad per day. And at least 20% of them are physical ads, depends on how long you spend outside. Physical ads or out-of-home ads take many shapes and forms, from posters to billboards to more recently the digital displays or the kiosks or street furniture. They all share a very common problem. First, they are not very relatable because they're facing toward the general public. That means the chances that I am their target customer is very low. And also because there's so many and very messy, people build this ad fatigue to just ignore all of them.
And it's not just frustrating for customers, it's also very costly for businesses. You are tied up to manual paperwork, manual maintenance, and you're receiving data that is estimated or delayed. So basically, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and you're getting low return on investment.
And based on research, we've seen that there's a movement in this industry toward interactive advertisement, which means that there's some sort of user feedback loop. There may be some sensor like a camera or some sort of sensor that have an interaction built in, and there's some sort of curation to the specific audience group in that area.
For businesses, we are creating content that is based on real-time user engagement. This makes the whole process more efficient and also cost efficient.
Our vision for AdSite is to create an entire ecosystem from the hardware display with the camera for user input to the AI algorithms that track the audience engagement, then to the web platform for the advertisers to track their real-time performance based on how well their ad campaigns work out.
So our product AdSite only comes in two parts. One is the actual physical device, and then is our cloud service for analysis and other purposes. So first of all, it's our product itself, the actual physical screen. We will have equipped with camera and advanced computer vision AI, which will count how many people has passed by and their general information like demographic, like their age range and their genders. All of this analysis will be processed inside the device, so only the analyzed metadata such as group age, gender, and non-personal information will be uploaded to the cloud to ensure the privacy. And in our AdSite engines, two very powerful system works together. For the NS platform, it will integrate all the information gathered from the actual device, and that will provide actionable insight for advertisers so they can see exactly how their campaign is performing. And then the AdSite engine will automatically push out the best ads content for the current demographic and people viewing in front of the screens.
Did you ever actually use this?
So when it comes to camera and data, privacy is everything. This is why AdSite is compliant to use edge processing technique. This means that we're not going to store or transmit any of your biometric data. This includes your face or behavioral data. We are instead relying on heat maps. And another technique that we're going to use is adding QR codes on each of our unit, which links to our privacy policy. So this gives control and transparency to all our users. And when it comes to market, the market is worth $25 billion. This is the global digital out-of-home advertising market. And we're going to be targeting taking the slice of $3 billion of dynamic interactive ad placements in North American market. And from there, we're targeting serviceable obtainable market of $100 to $120 million over 5 years. This will give us a realistic opportunity to scale up to 500 units in 5 years. When it comes to competition, we are in a space that is very active. We have industry giants that are, for example, JC Deco, Clear Channel Outdoors, and Automobilize. But here's the catch, they are very outdated. The first thing that we have to point out is their deployment time. It takes days to even weeks to launch only one campaign. But here at AdSide, we're giving you the opportunity to instantly launch any ad that you want with just one click. Another really important point is accessibility. AdSide is accessible to all businesses, whereas traditional are looking forward to high-budget clients and working with they're restricted to huge businesses. This gives us the opportunity to say that traditional market is built for scale, whereas AdSide is built for agility, intelligence, and efficiency. And this is where the advertisement is headed. So how do we actually go to market? We first start with the beta phase and R&D. We will create ads that stand out, and it will help us create the momentum. Afterwards, we're moving on to early adopters, where we're going to target local startups, small businesses, and also reach out to some brands like Nike or Samsung that are looking forward to work with interactive and fresh formats. Afterwards, we are moving on to our full launch. We're going to provide the simplified and streamlined system that we have made, and we're also going to provide a limited free quota, the freemium model, which will lower the barriers of entry.
AdSite serves two main client types, our first one being advertisers who pay us money directly to run their ads, and our second being property owners who would host our screens. We utilize a CPM-based advertising model, where CPM stands for cost per relay, or cost per 1,000 impressions. AdSite charges $30 every time an ad is viewed 1,000 times. Now, it's important to understand this is a bit of a premium rate, as typically you'll see billboards charging around $2 to $10 CPM. Electronic billboards have a $12 to $20 CPM, and airports have $20 to $30 CPM. But this is because AdSite's AI ensures that our ads actually make an impression by reaching who it's supposed to reach. This ad revenue is then split 80-20 between AdSite and the venue host, with AdSite getting a larger share. And this kind of model is standard in ad tech, as it allows the property owner to generate a passive revenue stream while allowing us to scale without having to pay rent for screen space. Alright, so our screens generate revenue based on how many times people view our ads in our tiered locations. Tier 1 locations like airports can generate up to 3 million impressions per month, which can bring up to $90,000 per screen in terms of ad revenue. Tier 2 locations are lower traffic but still strong. Think of like downtown city centers or college campuses. And then Tier 3 locations are small venues such as gyms or salons. And after the 80-20 revenue split, AdSide would take home anywhere between $1,200 and $72,000 per screen per month. We are asking for initial seed funding of $300,000, which would be enough to develop our MVP, manufacture our first couple of screens, and launch early partnerships. In year 2, we grow quickly with a projected revenue of $4.4 million, which more than quadruples to the end of year 3 to $20.7 million. Gross profit margins grow exponentially in the first 2 years, and from year 3 to year 5, we have a GPM of around 70%. This is due to our scalable software, low recurring hardware costs, and high ad revenue per screen. At the end of year 5, we plan to deploy around 500 screens or so, and our break-even point is around July of year 3. If you look to the right, you can see we plan to use our funds, with most of it going towards hardware and software development, securing partnerships, and having a lean go-to-market plan. The first 8 months are dedicated towards product development, and we bring in no revenue. Our revenue stream begins officially on month 9 with our pilot launch, which lasts all the way up until month 18. During this period, we plan to deploy around 40 to 50 screens and perform beta testing to see how we perform and see what needs to change. And then from year 2 onwards, we plan to scale quickly, where we utilize our tiered rollout plan, which helps boost locations which perform really well. And all of our spending and scaling has been aligned with our projected revenue growth so that we remain capital efficient and margin positive as we grow.
So we will build our team in terms of 3 phases. The founders phase will have a team of 7 with one tech savvy CEO who also understands commercial and business side of things, and 6 engineers that help with the development. And then when we go to the market phase, we will add more business development teams, and for sales managers that will actually attract key advertisers and boost our revenue. As we scale even more, we'll recruit more people such as supply chain management and customer success teams, which on one hand will help us increase efficiency when we produce the product, and then the customer success team will help to guarantee our customer satisfaction and make the customer happy.
And we have many ideas beyond our MVP, and what we're doing right now is to future-proof. So just the most basic adaptive camera, but there's many ideas beyond this. But this is what we have for AdSight in its baby form. And really all you need is a little bit of user input to drastically increase their interactivity and the curation. And our vision is to replace all those old boring ad display with the AdSight dynamic display. And we're here to standardize the interactivity and curation for out-of-home advertisement. Thank you.
Okay, questions? So are you gonna allow the company to choose how the interactive ads work?
Yes.
And like what's their incentive? Because like, for example, you mentioned Nike. Nike now have to use their software engineers to come up with something that works on this. So what's their incentive to do it?
So that's a good question because Nike, we bring out an example as like an early adopter where we like work with them very close like us, and we want to, because there's brands out there that are looking for like new formats to advertise, and Nike as an example is that we will like spend our efforts with their marketing team to come up with something that's interactive, kind of like as an experimentation. And this is not going to happen when we're doing our full launch where there's like we're trying to do scaling. That's going to be up to whoever like is interested in doing what we're doing. So that's
So during the full launch,
Yeah.
AdSight decides the interaction?
during the full launch. It's we don't decide it. It's more like they have their software or wherever they come up with their ad campaign, they come to us and they go on to us to deploy that.
You mentioned that competitors work with bigger brands, and like your edge is kind of that you work with like smaller brands. So how would you incentivize like larger brands like Nike to work with you instead of just staying with the existing advertisements that are out there?
Yeah.
Because first of all, when you go to like existing products like JD, how do you say that? JC Decode, they're not interactive. They are very one-dimensional. You cannot there's only certain depth to advertisement because there's only a display showing whatever you need to show. But with interaction, you can increase the experience depth, like how you can experience the depth of the product they're trying to do in their campaigns.
So we're giving the opportunity for Nike to choose to target their audience. When they're going with JC Decode can change whenever they want the billboard. They can put Nike and then change it they can put Nike in the morning and then change it in the afternoon. But for us, for example, we have Marmont here. During the marathon, our billboards can show only Nike products, which means that everyone who is a runner or who is going to watch, they're going to be someone who is related to Nike, who wants to buy Nike. And this is the opportunity for them to showcase their products.
Yeah, you can see a comparison right here. Like this is how long it takes you to just do JC Decode, and this is fine. Yes, I don't know if this is next.
All right, one last question, please.
How do you
Go ahead.
how do you plan on competing with like Samsung and Apple, who have their own interfaces for AI ads, and they are actually interactable like with cameras?
That's a good question. So the picture I showed you earlier with the Samsung, they built that ad display solely to advertise their the flip phone. That's their experimental format.
So then couldn't they also adapt AI versus a competitor?
Sure, but they're not in the ad industry though.
Okay.
When you say you're going to create ads in the beta phase, are those ads for your own product, or who's creating it?
So we're gonna work with small brands that will help us create some ads just for testing purposes. And after that, the main point is that we're gonna receive feedback from what they have received from all the insights and data. Afterwards, we're gonna refine our system based on the feedback we have received. And then we're gonna go to target early adopters.
Yeah, and also think those very innovative brands like Nike or Coca-Cola that like to do interactive stuff. They like to try new stuff. So those are our main first adopters.
How do you target specific people? If you're not
taking their data or biometric data?
So
We're taking them by general demographic. For example, certain group H prefer this type of stuff. Then we can track that using our cameras. But since it's not, we cannot ensure that we need to ensure that none of the personal information are transmitted. That's why this is a little tricky situation where we can only have very general information. But you know that makes it more competitive compared to pushing out ads that you don't know who's seeing.
we're not tracking individual data, we're tracking like the audience of that region. For example, if that ad display is put in NBU, it's gonna see that, oh, there's mainly students here, and then there's mainly like young people. So we're gonna put like, well, whatever young people.
Can you get information such as if it's students or their age from just a heat map?
No, so what you will see in the CV model is that yes, you will have their face analyzed, but none of the information is stored. So that means there's a video, but none of it is stored or streamlined. Only the numerical data, for example, how many people pass by, what are their age groups, and those like numerical data is then uploaded.
It is also important to note that it also depends on the business that we're working on. So for example, the example that we gave, if we're working with BU, and BU's targeting audience is students, then we can assume that the campaigns that they're gonna launch is actually for 18 to 24 age range, and it's gonna be actually targeted for students. So it's gonna be concept that's for students.
So I'm wondering, what, like, before you walk up to the thing, what is displayed? Because if I'm walking on the sidewalk and I just see like ad site, I'm not gonna approach that. So are you taking my data without me walking up to your billboard?
No, it's more like a passive viewing. When we're talking about like dynamic stuff that we have an actual interaction, that's for like later. What we see is that we have like a passive thing that we know that, like, for example, this ad is MBU. So we would display ads actively for like whatever student like, for example.
And then how do you, like, why would I go up and interact with it?
You do not need to go up and interact with it.
But
It's
isn't
just
that part
something
of
that's going to catch your attention. If you see something that's really important to you, for example, a club event that's for, let's say, having dinner with the dean of education, College of Education, you might be interested and you're going to be like, maybe I should attend this event. So this is something that's general for the BU student body, but there are lots of people that can be attracted to that specific ad. So it's going to change constantly.
I guess my question is like, part of it is going up to the ad and interacting with the ad, right? Like on the thing.
Yes.
So
That's
then
what
how would I know to go up to that thing and interact with the ad? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'm going to talk about it like in a later slide and beyond MEP, but you mentioned it. Yes.
I just have, building on that,
Yes.
so Warren,
Yes.
slides, like, how is yours different from that? Because those are also constantly changing and evolving.
Yes, but those are completely managed by people. They're like people sending in, they're gonna type in the data, they're gonna like spend 30 minutes to make the format works and then send it, and that's just for one display. We are completely on cloud to do that, and you can do it on the app link. It's displayed to like all the, like for example, all the schools, whatever school that have our display.
So maybe the right word is not interactive, but it's more adaptive, right?
Yes.
So it adapts to the audience and it changes whatever you have and you display different content. Let's go a little, keep moving here.